In this week's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're beginning a new series where I aim to point out things that people may not have realised can happen. I'm going to be doing this chapter by chapter until we reach the end of the game. You will notice that for the first part, I've combined two chapters. This is a one-off, solely because the prologue of the game is only about 5 missions in length. This isn't so much a tips and tricks video, I'm just going to show you that sometimes, if you think outside the box when it comes to this game, things can be different. There's a little of things you might not have noticed, alternate ways of doing missions, how to trigger hidden cutscenes or dialogue, and what can happen if you just ignore the set way of doing things. I have a list of around 8 or so for you today, all recorded from the prologue and chapter 2. Please bear in mind that even though the footage is from early on, there will be potential spoilers ahead. On a side note guys, just before we head in, I have recently set up a Patreon page, with the intention being that I wish to give you as much information as possible on as many games as I can manage, but of course it takes funding to purchase these games. Any and all Patreons will be greatly appreciated, and not only will you be helping the channel out, but you will receive official Philby Gaming products and perks as part of your membership. You can join for as little as £5 per month. The link to the Patreon page will be on screen now, in the video description, or if you go to the main page of the channel, it's linked on the banner. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, and here we go with things you may not realise that could happen in Red Dead Redemption 2. Prologue and Chapter 2 edition. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep these in the order that they occur, so we'll be starting at the prologue. The first thing I want to show you guys today is from the very first mission, Outlaws from the West. When we take control of Arthur for the first time, with Dutch and Micah in tow, we head to the farmhouse of Sadie Adler. Now, after briefly searching the house for supplies, we head towards the barn. Upon entering, we are attacked by one of those damned Oldriscolls. A fight ensues, with Arthur becoming the victor. It is here that we are given the option, after learning the information that we need, to either kill the enemy or let him run free.
Well, I would say it looks like you have this, Arthur. Do what you want with him. I don't care. But bring that horse when you're done. Oh.
I don't know anything else.
Get the hell out of here. Go.
If you choose to let him free, Arthur tells Dutch that he did so, figuring the Oldriscoll wouldn't make it very far due to the incredible snowstorm out there. But the kicker here is this, that Oldriscoll survived. A later mission, titled Old Friends, the Van der Linde gang go on the hunt for the rival Oldriscoll gang, who are camped out in the Grizzlies West. If you listen closely just before the firefight begins, you can hear the same Oldriscoll claiming that he saw Dutch and the boys with his own 2 eyes. Let's listen.
So, what are we doing, Dutch? I can take this if you want.
Just make the call. You want to take the lead? Go.
You hear that? Dutch's boys saw them with my own 2 eyes. It was overshadowed a little by Dutch and Arthur's conversation, but it's definitely there. Continuing on with the prologue, there is a mission titled Enter Pursued by a Memory, in which one of the ladies of the gang, Abigail Roberts, asks our protagonist, Arthur, to help out in search for her partner and son's father, John Marston. Now this mission, as in most of the prologue, is being used as an early in-game guide for us, so off we trot, led by Javier Escuela in search of lost little John. The storm is still coming in hard, and at one point, during a steep climb, Javier suggests that it may be better to go on foot and leave the horses behind. After doing so, the pair are forced to climb several short rock faces, each one draining a little more stamina from Arthur. It's at this point that the game uses this drainage to prompt Arthur to delve into his satchel and use any item that may restore him back to full stamina. While most people will follow this instruction without question, did you realise that if you leave it be, shortly after there is a hidden scene? When passing through a tight squeeze, Javier will ask Arthur how he is doing. Arthur will reply that he is miserable due to the cold and storm. This follows with Javier whipping out a bottle of Kentucky bourbon, drinking a sip before handing it over to Arthur, who follows. This restores his stamina core. Let me show you this scene.
How you doing? I'm miserable. Been a tough few days. I know. Here. Take a drink of that? Thanks. I'm not designed for this snow.
With the gang short on food and supplies, Charles and Arthur decide to head out on the hunt to see if they can't catch anything. This mission is titled The Aftermath of Genesis, a fairly straightforward quest which introduces both stealth and the use of the eagle eye vision ability. Charles, unable to use the bow and arrow due to his burnt hand, teaches Arthur to track and shows him how to best take down an animal in the most efficient manner. After tracking a little through the snowy woods, Arthur bags himself a couple of deer and the pair head back towards camp. After making small talk for a little bit, the two men stumble across a bear. Charles insists that they leave it be, claiming that they have enough as it is and there's no need to push their luck. Most people will follow this instruction and continue on the trail back to camp. But did you realise that if Arthur attacks the bear, the animal, of course reacting aggressively, will charge towards the two men? But the thing about this, even though they now seem in imminent danger, the predator will not attack the pair, nor will Arthur be able to damage the animal in return. It will eventually just scurry off. Now moving away from the prologue, let's head over to chapter 2 of the game, which takes place in and around the Heartlands, with a camp now located at Horseshoe Overlook. One of the missions offered to us right from the beginning is to go out and search for the gang's clergyman and known alcoholic, Reverend Swanson. We were told he was spotted near the local train station known as Flatneck. Upon finding the Reverend, we discover he is drunk and out of his mind, taking part in a game of poker with some locals. During this scene, we are prompted to join the game after it's clear that Swanson is in no fit state to continue. On a side note, whether we choose to accept the invitation or not, this will still prompt the beginning of the Gambler's Challenge. Anyway, after chasing the now AWOL clergyman through the fields, watching as he continuously lands himself in bother, we eventually save him from a near miss by a train. Now passed out, Arthur needs to bring him back to the safety of the camp. On another quick side note, while Swanson is passed out on the back of your horse, if you fire your weapon, he will awaken, startled for a moment, before passing back out.
What's happening?
Upon arriving back at the camp, instead of dropping him off straight to his bed, if you choose to interact with the other gang members, each one will have a unique dialogue concerning Reverend Swanson's current state.
Hey, Strauss.
I can smell the whiskey from here.
Kieran.
Who's that, the Reverend?
Hey, y'all.
Is he asleep?
Dutcher's right-hand man and best friend, Hosea Matthews, needs the aid of Arthur after receiving a robbery tip. We join him a little northeast of our camp at a place called Emerald Ranch. It is there we meet a man called Seamus, a local fence. After a short scene depicting some trusting issues, Seamus informs the pair that if they wish to do business together, they will need to prove themselves to him. Arthur, although verbally reluctant, eventually agrees to do so. The Van der Linde boys head north to a place called Carmody Dell in search of a stolen stagecoach, with the task of retrieving it and selling it on over to Seamus. We also learn that there may be some money stashed away in the house. After scoping the place out from a distance, Hosea gives us two options. We can either enter by day, with Hosea creating a distraction, or sneak in by night. Now most people are about 50-50 on which they choose, but did you realise that if you choose to go in by night, you can grab a little something extra? After carefully grabbing items from the house while the inhabitants sleep, if you head upstairs where the occupier, a rival of Seamus, old Bob Crawford, is sleeping, you can confront and then intimidate him into giving up information on the whereabouts of a hidden stash. This is either normally in a lockbox beneath his bed or in the bedside wardrobe.
Where's the money?
Ain't got no money, mister. Oh.
Well, somehow I don't believe you. Where is it?
In the dresser.
Upon receiving a letter back at camp, Arthur learns that an old flame of his, one Mary Linton, is staying in a farmhouse nearby and wishes to see Arthur. Heading north, just above the town of Valentine, Arthur goes to see his old friend. A quick side note on this mission, depending on whether our protagonist is wearing a hat or not, the scene will play out a little differently. After a short and somewhat emotional interaction with the lady, we learn that she is in need of our help. Arthur is given two choices, either help or don't. Now most people will have seen both scenes, but did you realise that if Arthur refuses to choose either, the game will automatically pick one based on Arthur's current reputation status? This will also prompt a smaller, yet mostly unseen cutscene.
So, I'll take that as a yes?
Where is it?
Upon my experience, Arthur chose to help Mary, so off I went into the mountains to rescue her brother Jamie from the quite mad Chelonian cult. Now here, we also have an additional secret scene. After a small interaction with the cult leader, Jamie decides he doesn't want any help and attempts to flee the scene, prompting Arthur to give chase. But let me show you what happens if you do this.
I'm not coming with you, Arthur!
Just come and speak with Mary, then make up your mind!
Leave me alone, Arthur! He has fallen, so we must rise! We rise!
As you can see, this will result in a mission failure, but it starts you right back at the chase sequence once more, so only mere seconds will be lost. Toward the end of chapter 2, after receiving a tip-off from one of the girls of the gang, we learn of a train laden with baggage that seems ripe for the pickings. Arthur, unsure on whether even to attempt this robbery, is convinced to go ahead after speaking with John, who has come up with quite the plan to stop it. He has the idea of using an oil wagon to block the tracks, stating that no train driver wants to be cooked alive. Now while he runs some errands, Arthur is tasked with chasing down the oil wagon. Most of the time, there are two wagons within the grounds of the Cornwall Kerosene and Tar Factory, but if you strike lucky, there is sometimes one parked, mostly unattended, within Valentine. Please note that this one is much easier to obtain than trying to fight your way out of a heavily guarded factory. But anyway, here's something you may have not known about this mission. If you choose not to steal the oil wagon, or as in my case, I chose to perform other quests first, John will eventually just go and grab the wagon himself. I genuinely stumbled across this one by pure chance. Now, it doesn't end there. This one comes with a hidden cutscene in which Marston finally gets a chance to berate Arthur in return for all the hassle he's been giving him as of late.
You never got us that oil wagon, did you? I'm sorry. I clean forgot. Well, don't worry. It's taken care of. Otherwise, we'd miss that train. Thank you. You're still interested in the job, ain't you? Yes, but, I think we'll need another man. I like Charles Smith for this kind of thing. I'll get him. You meet us at the wagon when you can. There's an old burnout shack up near the border north of a place called Dewberry Creek. We stashed it there. Thank you. See, Arthur, even you make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes.
Now in our final part, I want to show you guys something that's only a small detail, but a very important one. This comes in the mission titled Officiate of Men. In this, Abigail has asked her to spend a little time with her son Jack after stating that he seems down. In what begins as such a sweet mission, Arthur takes the little boy on a small fishing trip. Now after a little fishing, which is basically acting as a tutorial for the minigame, Arthur and Jack are confronted by two men, who reveal themselves to be agents of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. After a brief argument, we not only learn that these men had previously killed Mac, one of the missing members of the Van der Linde gang, but also wish to offer Arthur his freedom if he reveals the whereabouts of the gang leader, Dutch. Now here's the detail that most people have missed. As the two agents walk away, if you watch closely, when their backs are turned, Arthur reaches for his sidearm, but refrains when he realises Jack would be a witness to the murder. He could have ended it all there and then. Also, there's another little detail in the scene that refers back to the original Red Dead Redemption game. Just before the Pinkerton agents walk away, Agent Ross comments to young Jack. He says this:
"Enjoy your fishing, kid. while you still can.
Who are they?
This is a reference to the final mission within the original, where Jack, now a grown man, remembers Agent Ross and what he has done and catches him out fishing.
My name is Jack Marston. You knew my father.
I see. I remember your father.
I've come for you, Ross.
I really hoped you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section on whether you knew some of these, none of these, or maybe all of them. If you think you have seen anything in-game that most people may have missed, feel free to let me know. It may just make it into the next video. Please remember guys, if it's all possible to support me on Patreon, this is as little as £5 per month. It not only supports the channel greatly and will help me produce more and more videos for you guys, but you'll also receive some goodies. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you made it this far. I want to say a huge thank you to the viewers in my comment section. Genuinely, without your input, videos like this would not be possible. Please join me in the next one, where we'll be covering chapter 3 of the game.